fortunate recently to be able to escape the frigidness of Wisconsin winter to go vacation with some family down in Florida. So I thought I would show you guys how we were able to navigate this situation due to the fact that both of us are vegan and eat very whole food, plant-based, and those are very difficult foods to find in an airport and in Florida and along the beach. So perhaps you may find this helpful in planning one of your upcoming vacations or just seeing how this is easily orchestrated in general. It doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to involve a bunch of fancy recipes, or you don't have to have certain type of foods or food groups or anything of that sort. It was just an 8-day vacation. We weren't going to perish if we forgot to include some flaxseed or something in our diet for that week. So this is how we were able to enjoy our vacation and stay healthy. To make sure our vacation starts off right, I always pack tons of food with us because you never know what's going to happen. You never know if your flight is going to get delayed or there's going to be an unpredicted layover. So there is more than enough food packed in my insulated tote at all times for myself and my family. So you can bring anything onto an airport. Most people don't realize, as long as it's not like heavy water containing, like probably soup might be an issue if it's really, really watery, liquidy soup. But I have taken sweet potatoes and grapes and bananas and apples and crackers and beans and all sorts of different things onto the flight. And there was only one time that they actually looked into the bag to see what was inside of it, I believe because of the frozen packs. But beyond that, it was very easy for us to get past the security and such. They really don't mind that you bring your own food to the airport or on the airplane because we all know what they serve on the airplane, which is just as concerning as what you will find in the airport. So you're always better off to pack your own food. The family we were visiting enjoys eating the standard American diet, and they also enjoy dining out often. So naturally, this doesn't jive well with Ayana and I's particular preference. So we were able to use a lot of the food that we had brought with us onto the flight in order to kind of compensate what was lacking at the restaurant that was chosen to dine at. And we created delicious meals with the combination. Oh, is that ever gorgeous? I'm not 100% sure if it was the restaurant food or the traveling, but Ayana got really sick all night, our first night staying in Florida. So we took it easy a little bit the following day, but she was back to her normal self by the afternoon, so we were able to spend plenty of time on the beach together.
I've been trying my best for a while, trying to please everyone who's around me. I've been putting on a fake smile, even though I'm wasting time. I don't want to be trapped in a box, trying to be like the rest when I'm not. I just want to go my own way, gonna let the past burn down, cause honestly don't wanna be stuck in boring conversations with you.
Typically when I go on any vacation, I always bring my 3-quart travel size pressure cooker with me. It is so handy to be able to make anything and everything when you are in hotel rooms or Airbnbs or bed and breakfast. But this time I was staying with my family at my family home next to a grocery store. Unfortunately, that grocery store was public, so it was particularly expensive. But nonetheless, I had a grocery store at my disposal, and a full kitchen. So I thought that a pressure cooker would be a little excessive, and I didn't want to carry it around with trying to keep my toddler next to me in the airport at all times. So I had to eat canned beans for the first time in years, and they were so gross. No wonder people have such a hard time transitioning to this diet style when they haven't really taken the time to learn how to cook their own beans yet. So many will go to the convenience of canned beans when really they're missing out so very much, because I couldn't even stomach most of them. They were very expensive, and we didn't even eat most of them because myself and my daughter were just totally turned off by the soggy canned beans. But even without our pressure cooker, my daughter and I survived on very simple foods throughout the week. So she loves her garbanzo bean noodles and any kind of fruit, as well as plain tofu and her sandwiches on the beach. And I always have pretty much the same thing in different variations for breakfast and lunch. So I would have some kind of oatmeal with berries and pecans and cinnamon for breakfast most mornings, or sweet potatoes and beans and other kinds of fruit and raw vegetables. And then in the evening, I always have a giant salad with plenty of sweet potatoes and some kind of grain, or some of our canned beans while I could still stomach them, and fruit for dessert. So it was a very lovely trip, and I hope everybody gets to experience a time in their life when they get to spend so much quality time with their child, or if you have multiple children. This was a great bonding experience for us, and I'm really glad that we took time out of our busy schedule to make it work. And our family was very accommodating. I will say that it was very difficult being in an environment with so many of those childhood triggers, like the chocolates and I can't remember what was in their freezer, but there was so many times where I had some kind of inclination to turn to some alcohol or some kind of artificially rich food just because I knew it was in the environment. Now, I didn't act on any of these urges, but it did take a lot of self-control and self-awareness to recognize that these urges were taking place, and to go outside and get some fresh air instead, or, just honor those urges by taking care of myself in some other healthy manner instead of giving into the chocolate or the ice cream or whatever else that was available in the pantry, and lots of chips and different things that I typically would have indulged in the past when I was younger. Now that I have sustained this lifestyle for so long, I understand the importance and the benefit of being 100% compliant as much as humanly possible in the environment that we find ourselves in.
Hold on, wait up just a minute now. What are you doing to me? Hold on, I'm awake, dreaming somehow. What are you doing to me? Wait a second, take it slow. Wait a second, don't you know? You're messing with my sense of time, and you are always on my mind.
So, completely by happy coincidence, we had other family members from Wisconsin that were down in the Florida area that we were staying in, visiting the family members of the home that we were staying in. So, inevitably, we all dined out again, and Ayana got to try some things for the first time that she had never eaten before. And I was so proud of her because she could have cared less. And even though I allowed her, that flexibility and that room to kind of explore all these different foods that she sees other people partaking in, she still opted for her healthier foods and really just cared more about exploring the rest of her environment than she did about, overindulging in some of these things. So that made me feel really reassured that she is moving in the right direction with her palate. And on this particular evening, I made sure to eat before we even went to the restaurant. And I tend to typically eat my last meal in the late afternoon, so it worked out perfectly. For anybody who's unfamiliar with my channel, Ayana has been vegan, whole food, plant-based since before she was even in the womb, really. So it's very important for myself and my partner that she grows up on this healthy diet, and we have seen wonderful benefits of doing so. She is a very hearty, robust child, and we are very fortunate that we have family and friends that are very respectful of our wishes. So I just want to point that out because this is very complicated with all of the social dynamics that go into food choices and how you bring up a child in our modern day environment. This is how we navigate a very difficult social situation and maintain our healthy nutrition plan. So I just want to say thank you to all of my friends and family who may be watching this. And I will see you guys in the next one.